You lose them exactly how you get them, okay? She would be lying to get me in trouble so that I can get a whooping, and he would still whip me just to make her happy. We literally probably 15 packs of fruit snacks in our box, and their box would be completely gone. Just pulled a Will Smith 5 seconds ago. Now you want to get up on stage and smack me? How dare you? Just when I thought things could not get any crazier in my life. Hey y'all, I just want to give y'all a little story time on one of the stepmothers that I encountered. Let's go back, and good morning to you. I am currently sipping my green tea with a little splash of lemon juice, freshly squeezed if you will. And I'm just trying to make sure that it's steeping great. Nice and piping hot. I don't know if y'all can see the steam coming up off this thing. Yeah, she's hot. Anyway, let's get into it. So when I was about 4 or 5, somewhere in between that stage, my parents, at the time we all lived together. It was my mom, my brother, and my dad and myself. We all lived in a home together, right? That our parents bought together, right? With this woman who later became my stepmother. And this woman, when I tell y'all, maybe I should take out my retainers, because I'm gonna be talking funny. Let me put them in my pocket for now. But my dad was cheating on my mother with said stepmother, okay? I mean, said woman. And we're gonna name her Miss F, okay? Miss F had 2 kids, a daughter and a son, just like my dad did, right? And I really situation, right? And when she came into the picture, it was real cool in the beginning. We would all hang out, and then before you know it, they were inviting her to like family events, and she was coming around more frequent. And we would go over to her house a lot. We would play with her kids. Her son was older, just like my brother was older than I was. And then it was me, and then it was her daughter after, basically. So I can give y'all a mindset of how much of an age difference we had between each other. And there were times where my mom would be calling to see like where I am, because again, I'm 4, 5, and I would be told by my father to tell her that we were at my uncle's house. And my mom, you know, of course, I wasn't taught to be dishonest at first, okay? I was always taught that if you lie, you'll steal, and if you steal, you'll kill. And I didn't want to do either of those, because I believed in you go to jail and you go to prison or worse, you know what I mean? So my mom had already instilled this. I had went to a Christian daycare with a few of my cousins also went to the same daycare. We all went to the same daycare / preschool together. And we, you know, were brought up the Christian way at this school, so we already knew if you'll lie, you'll steal, and if you steal, you'll kill. Listen, so, you know, or you're unalive. Let me say unalive, because I don't want to get this video flagged or anything like that. But my dad used to basically teach me how to lie, or tell me to lie to my mother and tell her like, oh no, we're at my uncle's house, but really and truly we were at this woman's house with her kids playing and stuff. And I used to go back and tell my mom, like when it was all said and done, I'll be like, mommy, you know, daddy told me this lie to basically tell you. And I would come out and tell her the truth. But at the time, when I would tell her the lie, he would be there. So I was really afraid of him. And this is another, like, a topic that we'll get into later. But basically, this woman literally just came in and years later became my stepmother. There were arguments that happened or took place about this woman, and when confronted, my dad would lie about it to try to throw it, you know, but my mom really knew the truth because my brother and I used to tell her, you know, the truth behind closed doors when it was just us. You feel what I'm saying? So lo and behold, my mom decides, like, we're out of here. I'm not doing this no more. I can't take it. It's time for me to go. And we left, and I remember being coerced. Is that how you say it? Coerced? To tell my dad where we were moving to. And I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit, let's rewind it a little bit. So at some point when my mom decided like she didn't want to do this anymore, we decided that we were gonna leave or whatever. My dad started treating me horribly. You would think I wasn't this man's kid the way he used to treat me. He used to pick me up from school every day from daycare. Remember the daycare I told you that all of my cousins and I went to at the time? That my grandpa and my dad used to pick us up because they would get off before everybody else. They worked for the county, so they were able to come and pick us up when we got out of school. But few times, many well, my dad would literally come and get my cousins and leave me there standing. Mind you, we still live in the same house. He used to leave me at this school, said school, and I would be standing at the door crying my eyes out because my daddy was leaving me. And I feel like he would definitely do it on purpose to be spiteful. And there's other things that man has done to me that we're not even gonna go into, but that's just a little bit. Once my mom decided like we're gonna be out of there, that's when he started treating me like shit, okay? Like I was not even his seed. And he got married to this woman, didn't tell me anything. You know, I didn't find out till later, months later. I think one of my aunts basically spilled the beans. I can't even remember how old I was when they decided they were gonna get married. Maybe I know I was old enough. I probably had to be between 7, 8, or 9. Maybe even 10. Somewhere between those 4 years of my life, somewhere in between there. They got married, and that's when shit started to hit the fan. This woman, I remember when I used to go over there on the weekends, that was the agreement that my parents had. They were never married. If I never mentioned that, they were never married. So it was easy for them to make their own agreement. And my mom, I think my mom, you know what? I might have forgot an important detail. My mom might have put him on child support before we moved out of that house. I have to ask her. But I think that's when he started to treat me like shit, once he realized like, oh shit, she putting me on child support? Oh yeah, I'm about to start, since you want to take money out of my pocket. But mind you, we're living in the same house and he was already still treating me like shit. He wouldn't buy me anything, like the basic necessities that a kid would need, food, like groceries and stuff like that. He was not putting forth anything. So my mom was like, okay, I got something for you, basically. Since you don't want to take care of your child, we're gonna do something so that we can make sure that you're taking care of your kid. This is your child. So she ended up putting him on child support, and I think that's when he decided like, oh yeah, I'm really about to be, you know what. So back to them getting married. Once they got married, that's when stuff started to get crazy, okay? Before they got married, I remember there were a plethora of times like we would be in Walmart grocery shopping or whatever, and if I said anything about my mother in front of this woman, you could just read the demeanor on her face, her facial expression, body language just changed. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about that woman. And it was one day in particular, she actually went and told my dad to tell me that she doesn't want me to speak about my mom ever again. Like, she doesn't want to hear nothing about my mother. And to me, that was guilt. Like, sis, why all of a sudden now you don't want to hear nothing about my mom? Or you're upset when I say, oh, my mommy is gonna get me this, or oh, my mommy has that. Like, literally, like shit that a kid is gonna do. But again, remember, she was the side chick. And I don't know what narrative my dad probably gave to her. Like, oh, you know, I'm leaving them. No, my mom is who really left him. So I don't know where the mix up came in with there. But my thing was like, why, if you knew you were dealing with a man who was in something or in a relationship with somebody else, or they were living together, why would you think that the man wouldn't tell you a lie? You know what I'm saying? Girl, let's put our thinking caps on. I don't understand, you know, how women could sometimes be the way they are. You decided you wanted to deal with a man who has kids, and you think that that kid is not gonna talk about their parent, like their other parent, and you think that that's gonna stop me from talking about my mom. Yeah, she really got quick with that one, because I was not gonna stop talking about my mom at all. And my dad used to do stuff like that all the time to me. Like, he would come back and tell me, oh, she doesn't want to hear you saying this, or when you said this, she didn't like it. Or I think it was even one time she even told my dad that I think I'm all that. And did, as I should. I am all that. I was all of that, and I'm still all of that, okay? Hyping myself up because you want to bring me down because you tired of hearing me talk about my mom. Girl, bye. But I remember when they got married, that's when stuff started to get real crazy, right? So I really started to feel like a stepchild once they got married, for real. We would go to the grocery store, go to Walmart, Kroger, Publix, wherever you could name. I would have to get my own snacks. And what would really irritate me is the fact that I'm only there Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday I leave. I used to be back at home no later than 4 p.m. on Sunday. So you do the math. I get out of school 2:30 from elementary school, and I literally have to fight tooth and nail to survive over there for my own snacks, because we would have to go grocery shopping every Friday. And I'ma just say it, okay? The stepbrother that I had at the time, he was on the plus size, if you will. And this is not to make fun of him or any body shaming or anything like that, but this is just to give you an idea of the body type, okay? Or the type of person that he was. So when we went grocery shopping, I think he was the reason why I had to start getting my own snacks. So my dad would have to give my stepmom at the time money to buy me what I wanted. So whether it be waffles for breakfast or pancakes, whatever I basically wanted, my dad had to fund her pockets to get it for me, because her son didn't want me eating his snacks. I had to have my own snacks. And then every Friday when I came back over, I would look in my box of fruit snacks. We done bought two big boxes of $300, 300 smaller packs of fruit snacks from Walmart. The orange ones, the tangy ones, those used to be the Johns back in the day, okay? We used to buy 2 of those. One for me, and the other box was supposed to be split between her son and, I forgot about my brother. How could I forget about my brother? But my brother was way older than us, so he really wasn't really eating the shit that we were eating, but we'll throw him in there. So, like, for example, her son and her daughter would share a box, and then my brother and I would share a box of the fruit snacks. So in total, there were 600 fruit snacks, but we all had our own separate boxes. All 4 of us split the 2 boxes, pretty much, okay? Every weekend, the following weekend, let's say we went grocery shopping, like, last Friday and this Friday coming up, when I would go back over there, my brother and I would go back over there to her house, there would be literally probably 15 packs of fruit snacks in our box, and their box would be completely gone. So my thing was, what the hell is the point of us getting our own box if you just gonna eat our shit in? That way that we wouldn't even have to worry about sharing. We wouldn't even have to worry about buying groceries every Friday, snacks For like, why are we eating that much snacks? It was beyond me. And it was a couple times, well, sometimes some weekends I wouldn't go over there and my brother would tell me like, oh, it's been him eating the snacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that used to literally irritate me. And then her brother, the stepbrother, used to make fat jokes, body shaming me at a very young age. He used to be really a bully to me, and I don't know if my brother ever experienced it, but he was definitely a bully to me. He would definitely make me feel like crap for being big, not to mention the fact that he probably would hear my aunts talking junk about how chubby I was back in the day, and him now throwing those same jokes back at me. It really used to piss me off. And then when I said something back mean, I was the bad guy. I was the I got my ass whooped just for saying something back and his mom hearing it. And it's like, you didn't hear what your son said to me, but you heard what I said. Very interesting. Ooh, that's gonna open me up because I got a little congested just now. But yeah, like I literally went through so much with that woman. I remember the day after the wedding, child, there was a cookout that was had at her house. And one of my rocks at us girls. It was 2 boys throwing rocks at us females. And I remember having a bottle of ice, a bottle of water with ice in it. It was completely frozen. And I kept saying to my cousin, stop throwing the ice. Stop throwing the rocks. Please stop throwing the rocks. Like, I kept begging them. And I'm the type of person, I was told as a young duck, if somebody puts their hands on you or is physically harming you, fight back. So you know what I did. I sure did take that bottle with that ice and started beating the shit out of him. Sure did. And I'll never forget, his mom came down there and was like, you don't put your hands on my son. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't be throwing rocks at me. You need to come and tell me, no, I ain't telling you shit. Because you ain't gonna do nothing. This is one of my aunts that was a bully to me. So, you know how that went. But anyway, so my dad, I will never forget, my aunt, that same aunt went back and told my dad that I was hitting her son with a rock, with a bottle of ice. And my dad was so drunk, he tried to whip me. And I tried to run up them stairs. I didn't try, I accomplished it. I don't think I've ever ran that fast in my life, child. I ran up them stairs, and because my stepmother at the time saw what took place, this is the only thing that I can say she did good by me with. She saved me from getting my butt whooped. And again, remember, my dad was intoxicated, so only God knows how bad I would have been whooped or beaten that day. But it didn't end up happening. And that's probably the only thing good I can tell y'all about this woman in this story time. And let me see, there's another time where her daughter used to say slick stuff about me as well. And I never was able to say something back or retaliate, like I said, because she would go and tell my dad that I'm the one that said something, and then I would end up getting in trouble, getting whooped, or whatever the case might have been, punished, whereas her kids would be scot-free. And I would be the one sitting in timeout with my damn hands crossed, sad, and a I had, at the time, me being the brat that I was, I had a flip phone. It was a Samsung something. That was when razors were a thing. And I had a little Samsung flip phone, and I wanted me a little razor so bad. But I got the next thing close to it. It wasn't a Motorola, but it was something, okay? And my stepsister had a track phone. And like I said, she used to say slick stuff to me all the time. But this was a time where I was like, yeah, I'm about to get off, okay? She was upstairs with her mother. I think her mom was giving her a bath or something, helping her bathe, some John. Like I said, she was only a year younger than me. And my dad had asked me, Whose phone is this?
I was like, oh, that's Kennedy's cheating phone.
Who told me to say that, child? Her mother didn't say anything, but I could tell when she came down them stairs, she was, okay, pissed that she heard me say that. She went back and told my dad, and then my dad laughed when I said it. Mind you, he laughed when I said it at the time. And I think we were eating like lasagna or something. I'll never forget this day. Lasagna or spaghetti, one of the two. And she came downstairs and I could read the look on her face. Sis was pissed, livid, okay? When she came down them stairs, she looked at my dad. They went outside. I guess she was saying something to him like, you know, couldn't really hear her too much. But I know sis was pissed. He came back inside. We ended up riding up the street somewhere, going to like my grandparents' house. He told me like, yeah, you can't be saying those things. That's not nice. All of a sudden now, you was just laughing. You just pulled a Will Smith 5 seconds ago. Now you want to get up on stage and smack me? How dare you? How dare you? So be it. And that from that day forward, it was like I was in prison when I went over there. I remember it was one day we were eating wings. Everybody know back in the day, Atlanta was, well, we still known for our wings, but our places at the time, before there was an AB or A-Town, there was American Deli, okay? And we used to get American Deli pretty much every Friday. It was either a rotation of American Deli or we would get pizza from Little Caesars. One time we got both. And I think I had two slices of pizza. I want to say it was 2 slices of pizza and I had wings. All I wanted was wings. They had wings and fries. And her son said something so mean to me and it really hurt my feelings. He was like, that's why you're fat now. Like just fat shaming me, making me feel bad for eating as much as I wanted. And then when I told my dad, he was just like, you know, don't let nobody, you know, make you feel, or don't listen to him, just like brushing it off. But it was nothing ever said. Anytime her son ever said anything to me out the way, no repercussions were done. And I know, you know, granted, that's not her, you know, my dad's kid, so he's not gonna, you know, discipline him or anything. But it's just like, you always want my dad to discipline me when I do something that you don't like to your kids. But when the energy is now reciprocated, you aren't doing anything about it. So I started to really feel like the stepkid. At this time, my brother would not come over. Like, my brother would stay at my grandparents' house. Never really asked why, but he just stopped coming around. And I, at the time, used to go over there still. And at some point between the ages of, I want to say 11 and I don't know when they got a divorce, but they ended up getting a divorce. But I stopped going over there long before that. And towards the end of their marriage, we found out, or I knew the whole time, that my dad was cheating on her just like she was the side woman when he was with my mama. You lose them exactly how you get them, okay? And for lack of a better terms, sis was pissed when she found out that my mother and I knew the whole time, and that my mother and I had a relationship with this said woman. Love her to this day. Love her down, okay? That is my girl. And her birthday was actually a couple days ago. But love her down, okay? That is still my girl to this very day. I would have loved her as a stepmom, okay? But, child, so when she found out that my dad was cheating on her, again, which we knew the entire time, sis was pissed. She found out, my mom knew, and let me tell y'all, this woman is somebody that wears blue, white, and black uniform, okay? You know what type of time it is, okay? I don't know how, but some way, some shape, form, or fashion, she ended up calling my dad. This time I wasn't going over there. Never. You could never catch me. I don't even remember what made me stop going over there. It's like, it was just a whole ordeal that I won't even get into. But it was just it was just a lot. Let me just say, for lack of a better term, it was a lot because this story time is getting long, and I just want to, you know, let y'all know this is one of the story times. I got another story time about a stepmom. The other one is juicier, so just make sure you stay tuned for the next time I upload the other story time about the other stepmom. Yeah, but this one in particular, I mean, hold on, because my nose is getting. I'm getting to it. I think she told my dad that she knew, and then she told my dad that she was gonna pull up to my mother's house. And I was like, girl, I dare you, the same woman that you didn't want me talking about, you think you're gonna pull up to my mother's house and try to do what? What are you pulling up for? Stay in your lane, Bookie. Nobody was pulling up to my mother's house, or nobody was pulling up to your house when you was sleeping with my daddy. Nobody pulled up to your house. My mother never said nothing to you. So the fact that you thought that you were going to call my mother or call my dad and tell him that you about to pull up to my mother's house, girl, she had another thing coming, because I'm telling you, we would have dragged her down that driveway. I was waiting for her to pull up that day. I was excited, thrilled. It was a Sunday too. Child, when my dad called my mother and told my mom that, you know what my mom said? Tell her I dare her. But if you got some sense, you'll tell her to keep her little ass where she at. Cause I ain't ain't got nothing to do with this. I don't want no pause. So you better tell her to stay in her lane. And if she pull up here, she's gonna get exactly what she's asking for. Hello. And child, I will never forget, it was one of my cousin's graduation. She was there, you know, I kept it copacetic, very cordial, like just chit-chatting. This was 2017 that I went off to college, but her daughter graduated class of 2018. 2018 comes around, child, and she's like, oh yeah, you should come. At this time, her and my dad had already gotten a divorce. So she was like, yeah, you should come to the graduation party. We're hosting the graduation party on, I think this was like on a Friday. She was telling me to come to graduation on Sunday, graduation party. And I'm like, girl, I don't even fuck with you. Little do you know, I do not fuck with you. So why on God's green earth you think that I don't know about you telling my dad you gonna pull up to my mother's house? You think I'm coming to your daughter's graduation party? Bitch, please. Please, don't ask me. It ain't no beef, but bitch, I don't fuck with you. And I don't know why you thought on God's green earth that I'm pulling up. Girl, please. I don't have no loyalty to you. I haven't been to your house in years. So why you think I'm coming today? Girl, bye. So, I didn't even know when they got a divorce. Honestly, that's why I can't even tell y'all. I don't even think their marriage lasted happily for 5 years. I don't even think it lasted that long. They might have gotten married and, you know, tried to work it out, going to therapy. Who knows, child? I don't know, because I was left in the dark, and I was also not in the picture. I literally stayed far-fetched. I was never at any events, family events. I was never invited anyway, but I literally, like I said, I stopped going. I didn't want to be over there. My dad would call and ask, why you not coming over? Bitch, I don't want to be over there. Why do I want to be somewhere? Why would I want to leave my bed that's on a bed frame, to go sleep on somebody's air mattress on the floor when there's no air in it? Y'all know how air mattresses get when you keep blowing it up. Sometimes you wake up, you're back on the damn floor. I wasn't trying to deal with that. Like, well, why would you think I would be comfortable with that? I was very genuinely confused as to why you would think that I'm gonna leave my home, my room with my own four walls, to go sleep on somebody's floor on a mattress. Please, goodbye. I'm not going over there. And then I can't even talk about my mom. Please. And then every time I say something wrong, I'm getting my ass whooped. Please. I'm not going. But yeah, y'all, that's one of the story times about one of my stepmoms. I was ill-treated. How, you know, I just said we only took one family vacation. I didn't even tell y'all about that. Child, it wasn't even a vacation worth remembering, because I literally could not ride anything. We went to Disney World, and all of that, child, I couldn't go to none of them. You know why? Because stepsister at the time broke her arm or her leg or some shit. She was a cheerleader. Broke her arm or her leg or some shit, and we couldn't go to none of the water parks. So Disney was just roller coasters, and I'm really not a roller coaster kind of girl, so I really just kind of stood to the side while they had their fun, truthfully. So yeah, that's how that went, and I just thought it was unfair because at the time my stepbrother got to got to do what he wanted to do. However, I had to stick behind this chick who has a broken leg or arm, and I couldn't ride shit, and I was pissed because it's like, damn, I only came down here for real for the water parks. I rode the rides, but not that many because at the time I was not doing no big rides. I had to be like World when I was 10, or I think it was the summer after they got married. So yeah, I had to be 9 turning 10 because they got married. I want to say in like, I don't remember when they got married. I can't remember if it was cold or if it was hot. But and the wedding dress was hideous. I probably still have it. Nah, I think I got rid of it when we moved. My mom keeps all of my dresses. I've been in a plethora of weddings, so my mom keeps all of my dresses from the time that I was probably like 2. I have every dress you can think of, but that's one of the dresses that I definitely got rid of. Child, that wasn't even a wedding I want to remember. But yeah, I think I was telling y'all that my dad literally, he used to whip me for anything. And he's admitted to me to this day. Recently, he's admitted to me a few years ago, actually, once they got a divorce and he was single before he married the second woman that I'm gonna tell y'all about. He even told me like he knew sometimes she would be lying to get me in trouble so that I can get a whooping, and he would still whip me just to make her happy. Yep. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that information. Please come back to hear the next story time, how I literally almost got arrested. So yeah, come back to hear that story time. I hope you guys enjoy.